Two undergraduate students at Harvard, Marvin 1927 2016 and Dean, built the first neural network computer in 1950. The SNARC, as it was called, used 3,000 vacuum tubes and a surplus automatic pilot mechanism from a B-24 bomber to stimulate a network of 40 neurons. Later at Princeton, Minsky studied universal computation in neural networks. And during his PhD committee, the committee was skeptical about whether this kind of work should be considered mathematics, but von Neumann reportedly said, if it isn't now, it will be someday.
Welcome to the OTech Talks podcast, where it's all about working on technologies. You will hear the latest tech information, and your host, Kashif Manzoor, brings together product overviews, how-tos, best practices, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting techniques.
Welcome to OTech Talks podcast. It's a journal based on day-to-day activities, learning, sharing. And today we have a session number 77. And we will be discussing the basics of AI, artificial intelligence. If you're new to the show, Open Tech Talks is your weekly sandbox for technology insights, experimentation, and inspiration with the primary objective of learning and sharing. And as I was discussing from, I think, last 6 months or so, that I have embarked on a journey to study and pursue MSc in artificial intelligence. And I was amazed to read the history of artificial intelligence. And the way, every student or everyone, whoever is doing it, who does anything, and he wanted to learn it, so he goes back to the basics. So that's the same thing. If you remember when we were doing the digital transformation sessions, so we went into very basics that, okay, what is digital transformation from a very beginner's guide point of view. Similar to this one, when I was doing my course and last semester and in this semester that on the artificial intelligence, and when we started algorithms and all that, so it took us to that, okay, what are the basics from where it's originated. So based on that, there are very inspiring legends or the mathematician and the computer scientists and the philosophers and so many areas of people, they have worked on it and they coined artificial intelligence as a terms. So what I thought to share with you, some of the initial if you are new to the artificial intelligence, and we'll explore it based on a number of sources, based on number of journals and books from the universities, and even which I am reading it as currently. So according to Britannica, in artificial intelligence is the ability of digital computer or computer-controlled robot or agent to perform tasks commonly associated with the intelligent beings. The term is frequently applied to projects of developing systems with the intellectual processes, characteristics of humans, such as the ability to reason, discover meaning, generalize, or learn from last experience. And according to the future of artificial intelligence, the paper NSTC 2016, artificial intelligence is a computerized system that exhibits behavior that is commonly thought of as requiring intelligence. And then according to another paper, or like the Thinking Computer at San Francisco, W.H. Freeman, he mentioned it, that artificial intelligence is the science of making machines do things that would require intelligence if done by man. And the founding father of AI, Alan Turing, defines this discipline as AI is the science and engineering of making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs. And this is the sources from his even the paper, and then it's available on Stanford that edu, and I'll put all the show notes that what are the sources which are taken on that one. Now we'll categorize artificial intelligence to the definition point of view, and then there is a machine learning, there's pattern identification, analysis. Machine can improve with experience from provided data sets, and then another is the deep learning, is a composed of multi-layer neural networks which enable machines to learn and make decisions on its own. Now, according to several books, the roots of modern AI are very, very big, very, very back, and they talk on different based on philosophy, mathematics, and other areas of from AI point of view. But what I thought we will take from when the term or the word artificial intelligence is presented to the world or to us. And according to the book, which is a very famous book, by the way, it's Artificial Intelligence, A Modern Approach, which I'm reading now, right now is the 4th edition. But it started from 2nd and 3rd, and now it's 4th edition, I think. And the way they wrote it, the inception of AI from 1943 to 1956. And if we will link this to the what exactly is AI, and the book of which is basically AI, Artificial Intelligence, a Modern Approach, known as IMA 2E for Russell and Norwick. Those are the writers who wrote it. And what exactly AI is? So how they described it, a set of possible answers to the what is AI. And that's considerable that these answers all assume that AI should be defined in terms of its goals. A candidate definition thus has the form: AI is the field that aims at building. The answers all fall under a quadrat of 4 types, placing 2 dimensions. So how they placed it, that reasoning-based, behavior-based, and human-based, and ideal rationality. So these are the 2 columns where they put it. And in one dimension is whether the goal is to match human performance or instead ideal rationality. The other dimension is whether the goal is to build systems that reason, think, or rather systems that act. The situation is summed up in this in the table, which I'm taking it from the Stanford on the show note, and I will put it in the show notes. And 4 possible goals for AI according to AMAN, so Artificial Intelligence Modern Approach. In that, if the reasoning based and the dimension is human based or ideal rationality, so systems that think like humans, or if ideal rationality, then the systems that think rationally. If we talk about from a behavior based point of view, systems that act like humans, and the systems that act rationally. So these are the 4 possible quadrat of reflection. And there are so many philosophers who spoke on or presented different conferences and all that. So if we see evaluation of the AI, so if we talk about 1943, when this artificial neurons were presented, and then 1950, Alan Turing machine, 1956, birth of AI, where the Dortmund conference happened, and then the word, which is artificial intelligence, which is coined. I think this was the first official usage of McCarthy's term artificial intelligence. And according to the modern approach of AI, computational rationality would have been more precise and less threatening. But AI has stuck. So at the 50th anniversary of Dartmouth conference, McCarthy stated that he registered the terms computer or computational in reference to who was promoting analog cybernetic devices rather than digital computers. So that was the conference when 1956, I think in the summer of 1956, and there were attendees who attended, and then the first word used as artificial intelligence was coined or presented at Hanover, New Hampshire. That's from where it started, and then it takes on, from 1966, there was a chatbot, Eliza, and then first intelligence robot, which is Wabot, won first AI winner. 1974 to 1980s, and 1980s expert systems came from. And then 1987 to 1993, there was a second AI winner. So there were IBM Deep Blue, first computer to beat a world chess champion. and it keeps going on. 2011, then the IBM Watson wins a quiz show, and then the Google Now 2012. Chatbot started coming in 2014. Amazon came in 2015. So all these are the signs of historically we see from a artificial intelligence point of view. At IBM, I think they were the first who presented the first AI program by the geometry theorem prover, which was able to prove theorems that many students of mathematics would find quite tricky. This work was a precursor of modern mathematical theorem proofs. So, of all the exploratory work done during this period, the most influential work which was done by Arthur Samuel, and then what he used as the reinforcement learning. So Samuel's program learned to play a strong amateur level. So he then disproved the idea that computers can do only what they are told to, because his program quickly learned to play a better game than its creator. This program was demonstrated on television in 1956, creating a strong impression. That like the Alan Turing, Samuel had trouble finding computer time, working at night, used machines that were still on the testing floor at IBM's manufacturing plant. Samuel's program was the precursor of later systems such as TD Gammon, which was among the world's best backgammon players, and AlphaGo, which shocked the world by defeating the human world champion at Go. So all these are the precursors of artificial intelligence. If we talk about, let me start. We went in the historic. So now let me go back. So I thought rather than coming from 1950s and all. So I found a very good material, and then while reading the number of sources and books, and I will put everything in the show notes. So take an example of 2019 and 2018 when Google developed BERT, the first bidirectional or unsupervised language representation, and similarly the Samsung introduced Bixby, a virtual assistant. And if we go back, then even the Alibaba Chinese, the tech group, the language processing AI outsourced human intellect at a Stanford reading and comprehension test. So the Alibaba language processing scored 82.44 against 82.30 on set of 100 key questions. A narrow defeat, but a defeat on that one. And then even in 2017, when the Facebook Artificial Intelligence Research Lab trained two dialogue agents, chatbots, to communicate with each other in order to learn how to negotiate. And even 2016, when the Google released Google Home, so that's all the nowadays which we're seeing it from. And then in 2016, if you see the humanoid robot named Sophia, which was Hanson Robotics, she's known as the first robot citizen introduced in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So now I'll keep in 2000 between 15 and 17. Again, Google's DeepMind's AlphaGo was a famous computer program that plays the board game Go and defeated various human champions. 2015, when 14 or 15, Amazon, Microsoft, Cortana, then go back in the Jeff Dane and Andrew and Google researchers trained a large neural network of 16,000 processors to recognize images of cats despite giving no background information by showing its 10 million unlabeled images from YouTube videos. So these are our from 2010 onward, and then even 2011 Apple released Siri, a virtual assistant on Apple iOS. So if you see from last 10 years what has done, if you talk about at AI 2010 and beyond to present day. So why I took it from history and then comes back to 2010, because where you can relate it, because these are all things from last 10 years. But if you go back to between 2000 onward and all that, then there was I think in 2000, Honda releases SMO, an artificial intelligent human robot. And there were so many other things done between 2000 and 2010. But if you go back in 1990s, the most famous in 90s is the 95 computer scientist Richard developed the chatbot Alice. The Alice stands from Artificial Linguistic Internet Computer Entity. So that was the most famous, if you see in a lot of documents and historically point of view. So all these gives you some of the insights that when you want to learn the basics or the historical facts of artificial intelligence, when it started and how it is going. And even now, if you're reading the new books and even the way industry is talking or the experts are talking that, okay, even AI, ethics need to bring into AI. So that's you need to bring some governance into AI programs, because it can go into different stages, maybe some weapons building or maybe cyber attacks and all that. So that's how a short, crisp history of artificial intelligence, which is what I can. If you're a student and you want to learn basics of the AI, or not even a student, or anyone who has interest to artificial intelligence, there are a number of courses on the Coursera edX. You can go and attend those. And if you are a book reader, then I think the best book is to buy Artificial Intelligence, the Modern Approach, 4th edition, which is the latest one. And it gives you all the basics. There are numerous resources available on the internet, but I would like to suggest you to go to some book or some courses which are available online, because that will give you the more authentic information and the historic information on the AI. Now, if we will relate this to the business, because as I am working with the large customer base across the region, so most of the time I work with the customers on solutions and architecture, enterprise architecture. So I thought, okay, how artificial intelligence from the Gartner webinar, the present and future of AI, and even they have done their own definition according to Gartner. So artificial intelligence applies advanced analysis and logic based techniques, including machine learning, to interpret events, support and automate decisions, and to take actions. And according to that, they have showed 2018 CIOs are turning on artificial intelligence, the survey. And according to that, the question was, what are your organization's plans in terms of artificial intelligence? And how different respondent are there. So I think I would suggest you to go and listen to this Gartner's webinar. It's a free, so you can go and attend on that one. And I will take some of the key highlights or inputs, from artificial intelligence. What are the most important consumers or challenges which they have mentioned it, and the first of on that one was the top motivators to use AI or machine learning, automate tasks and improve customer experience. On that one, so there are a number of automate repetitive or manual tasks, then improve customer experience, reduce costs, augment complex tasks, grow revenue, competitive pressure industry, other reduce headcount. So these were three current motivators for AI and ML investment. And at work, where employees want help on their tedious weaknesses, or ways in which AI can help the employees, for example, reduce mistakes, find information, help me with the routine work, process high volumes of data, solve complicated problems, identity trends. So a number of factors on that one, they found it. And how organizations should handle artificial intelligence. They have put it, you need to build a center of excellence. And while you're building center of excellence, you need to have examples of use cases from a entity or organization structure, which they divided as standalone, federation, or swarm on the vertical angle, and on the horizontal entity intelligence, ant-like or human-like. And they divided it to, for example, some of the use cases where event light show or faster data entry, automated claim inspections, speed order fulfillment, improved customer service, mobility as a service, expanded market or smooth traffic flow, high speed mission reconfiguration, high speed trading, medical diagnostics. Then, from a new strategy creation, collaborative creation, new product design. So, number of use cases identified and how it's going to affect the future from that angle. So looking at to the future, customer service remains important. Automation may wane while reducing costs is expected to gain steam. So in that one, there was a improved customer experience, reduce cost, grow revenue. These were some of the top 3 future motivators to AI or ML investment, which they have identified according to the Gartner. By 2023, 80% of all digital business industry visions will be powered by AI, selected from AI industry use cases. So that's how rapidly using, and then they use some examples of industry vision from Mercedes-Benz and City of the Future 2030 plus, Bakery of the Future, Grupo Bimbo, then fully autonomous mine, Amazon Everything Store, Future of Healthcare, City of the Future, Ford. So there were a number of identified. Now, what they based on the use cases, what they suggest is that you need to come up with, if I will summarize their findings or the suggestions or recommendations, that review the list of AI-enabled projects on your list today and identify which ones are critical path to a mission critical priority. Look down the list of federated solutions in the AI use cases and what you can match to based on each industry basically, and implement immediately with a human while also working on an AI-enabled replacement if possible. If no match, look to other industries for possible solutions. Measure to ensure your choice supports the mission critical priorities driven by the digital business industry vision for your company. Those are some of the recommendations for the enterprise customers, and they have shared which we called as the framework, the AI artificial intelligence framework for organizations, how they can use it. You maybe based on priorities, machine culture increases with intelligence and organization, and then you need to solo task culture or solo knowledge task culture or wolf pack culture, creative culture, anthill culture. So all these are, and I would suggest I think you need to go and attend this webinar. And it's quite informative webinar on the framework of the artificial intelligence for as an organization, a strategic framework for AI use cases by industry. This is very well crafted and present the use cases. Now, I think I'm going to conclude this one, and when I thought to conclude this session, because it was covering from a historic point of view on the artificial intelligence, and then the best source I think I have found another one is Artificial Intelligence and Life in 2030. That was a 100-year study on artificial intelligence from the MIT. And that's Stanford University, and that study they took it. It consists of science, engineering, and deployment of AI-enabled computing systems, and it's 100 study from a study panel every 5 years to assess the current state of AI, and then they take inputs, and then they release this document in 2015. And this is one of the very comprehensive and I think amazing report. And if you wanted to reach, access it, it's ai100.stanford.edu. And it talks about the content of this report. One of the reports is from what is artificial intelligence, and even they took it on the definition of AI research trends, and then by domain, transportation, home, service reports, healthcare, education, low resource communities, public safety and security, employment and workplace, entertainment, prospects and recommendations for AI public policy, and then a short history of AI. So I love this study guide. I think it's a white paper, and it has I think most of the information if you want to go and get and started with the AI. Thank you so much for listening, and it also helped me. I was not aware about this 100 years study of an AI. I like it. And even when I was doing over last month, and even still, I'm reading the book AI Modern Approaches. I didn't attend these Gartner webinars that how to link into the organization. So this session enforced me, and that's the whole objective of this one. Frankly, that why I'm doing it, and I keep motivating myself that okay, one thing I create a number of resources. For example, in this session, I got the historic information of AI, the definitions of AI, then this 100 years study on AI from Stanford, then what is the strategic framework for our organization, what are the common use cases which are being developed or can be used by different organizations. So all these all the different resources available, and when you will put some effort, you will get it. That's the whole objective of this podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm happy to share with you another that we have crossed 30,000 downloads of this podcast, and it's only due to you. Please share your feedback, and if you can rate this episode, the show on the iTunes when you're downloading the podcast. Once again, thank you so much. Have a wonderful year ahead, 2021. And if you are new and you just joined our session, please go ahead and listen previous session of first session of 2021, where we have talk about how to set the priorities and goals for 2021. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the O Tech Talks podcast, and be part of Tech Talks at otechtalks.tv. It's a turf to share ideas, insights, and innovations.